In today's video, we are going to discuss yet another way to finance your vehicle if you want to buy it for business or for private use. And today we are going to discuss about bank asset finance. Okay, so we spoke about hire purchase, we spoke about microfinance, and we spoke about outright purchase. So where you just pay cash and you go home. So here we are talking about using the mainstream financial institutions, especially the commercial banks. If you are going to Equity, if you are going to ABSA, if you are going to KCB, most probably they will have the conversation that we are going to have here with you today. And I always try to check some facts with some friends. So this morning, I gave a call to one of my friends who works with one major bank, is one of the biggest banks in Kenya. And this is the information that she gave me, that if you want to be financed by their bank to buy a vehicle, you need two things. First of all, you need to have either a payslip or you need to have what we call a business account. Okay? And this is very, very important because sometimes people don't realize the importance of having a business account with a bank. And I have advised so many Uber drivers not to transact their money with M-Pesa. Sometimes, M-Pesa is a personal account, is it a current account that you just put in money and put money out. But if you are registered with a bank as a business account, even if your business is Uber, you will be able to give a statement for your business for the last 6 months in case you want to borrow money to buy a vehicle. All right. So there are two things. If you don't have a business account that has a record of transactions and a turnover that you can show to the bank, you cannot borrow money from them. Worse still, if you are not employed and you don't have a payslip, forget about being financed by a bank to buy your car. So that is what we are going to discuss here. And most importantly, we are going to discuss about the loan limit and how your loan will be assessed to determine how much money they can give you, what are the interest rates, because as you know, I think since Ruto came, there was some amendment somewhere. I don't know which act was amended to make sure that people are, are given money with interest rates that are based on their risk, and that is your CRB score. So this is what she told me. Once you go there with your payslip and your business account, they will ask you for your statement. So maybe payslip for your last 4 months or your bank account statement for your business for the last 6 months or 2 years, depending on the amount of money maybe you want to borrow. Then they will proceed now to the CRB. Okay, so they'll go now to the CRB, the Credit Reference Bureau, to see your behavior in terms of whether you are a regular borrower, whether you are a person who has defaulted, or whether you are a person who has actually never borrowed. And here is where you realize it is actually very, very good to borrow and pay, because people who borrow and pay, they have good credit score than people who have actually never borrowed or never defaulted. So this is how your credit will be, your credit score will be rated. So if your credit score is between 1A and C, so this is the credit scoring formula, and they are open to check it for you in CRB and give you the rating. So this one is considered as low, and your interest per annum will be 16.6%. Okay, if you want to know which bank is this, just chat me in the WhatsApp number I have provided and I will refer you, but just that I didn't want to mention them publicly. So if your credit score is between C and G, so this one they will reveal to you your credit score is medium, and then you will be given an interest rate of 18.1%. So this is the confirmed interest rate. And then if your credit score is between H and J, then this is a high risk individual, and you'll be given your loan at 20.1%. Just to give some indicators here of who is who. For the law, these are the regular borrowers. So these are people who borrow very frequently, either through their mobile application, or if there is a loan you had taken and you finish repaying. So you will get a loan between, with 16.6%. The C to G, let me just confirm, these are people who do not borrow, not regular. So I can say not regular. So there are people who say, I hate loans. You have never borrowed money from the bank, or maybe you have defaulted some small loans amount, especially the mobile loans, or you have one outstanding loan that you have a history of paying after the deadline. You will fall under this category of low. And then this between H and J, these are the defaulters. So if there is a loan that you have not paid, or maybe you are on the CRB for maybe not paying your help or something, it will also affect your credit score, and that is what will determine how much money you will pay them back in terms of interest. Now, let's now go and talk about the actual financing. Okay? So there we have spoken about your credit scoring to determine the interest rate they will charge you. And now we want to talk about the amount. Okay? So of course they have several formulas depending on your salary. Okay, how much do you take home? And depending on your business turnover. So turnover is I would say is the total income from your business. How much does your business make? So it is from there that they will determine how much they can lend you. So that is the first step. Okay, and they have what they call the debt service ratio. The debt service ratio is like a third of your take home. Okay, so from your salary, of course, there is the gross salary. If you are earning, let's say, 100K, your take home will be around 70,000. You should not commit your loan repayment per month to anything more than a third of your take home. So if your take home is, let's say, 70K, they will only allow you to borrow amount of money that will not require you to pay more. Here is 70K. You should not pay more than a third of 70,000 per month. That should be your maximum repayment. So this should be something around 23,000. Let me check. What's Yeah, so 23,000. So if your take home is 70K, you cannot be allowed to take a loan that requires you to pay more than 23. All right, so that is the first criteria. They have now determined how much you need to repay per month. Okay, so let's say 23K. That's the money you have available for you to repay a loan, maximum. Secondly, they have they have limits with regard to what you want to buy. So for example, for certain vehicles, they are saying if you are buying a Mazda, they have a maximum of 5 million that you can borrow. So let's say they have put a vehicle maximum limit is 2 million. Okay, then if they have put the vehicle amount they can finance to the maximum is 2 million, and these guys can finance up to 100% of the vehicle, only if your monthly repayment can allow you to pay back the 2 million within the maximum allowed period. So because they told me that for vehicle financing, the maximum time they allow is 3 years. Okay, I hope I am making sense. So we are saying that if you want to be financed a vehicle of 2 million and pay back in 3 years, then your salary should allow you to repay a third of your salary, a third of your take home should allow you to pay 2 million within 3 years. I hope that is making sense. A third of your take home should allow you to pay 2 million in 3 years. If not, then they can only finance a percentage of it. That's why you will hear people saying they can only finance 20% of what I want. Others will say they can only finance 60%, others 100%. So you must put up a bigger deposit so that the balance that remains, that the bank will finance you, you'll be able to take a third of your salary and pay now. Instead of 2 million, maybe if the bank only finances you up to 60%, then you will have maybe 1.1. Okay, and you will see that if you are paying 23,000 per month for 3 years, you might be able now to make to 1.1. So meaning the bank will only finance you 60%. So literally that's how they they will determine how much they will give you, but and also the loan repayment. So there are people who are cornered by their financial circumstance, but there are others who have choices to make. There are people because they can fit into any of these. Your salary allows you to borrow 100% and pay within 4 years or 3 years if allowed. But if you are cornered, then you have to stick to what the bank allows you to do. And to some extent, some people are found to be unqualified to receive any loan. I hope that makes sense. Too complex. But anyway, if you need to get in touch with these guys, I have their number. I can share that with you for further clarification.